Hey guys, welcome back to the Backcheck Podcast. And this is what everybody's been waiting for, our first guest appearance. We have Fred Hein here, as well as co-host Dawson Sniff, and we're about to kick off the episode. And before we start, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel to stay tuned on excellent content for hockey, football, and baseball. Now, on the Instagram story, I asked everybody to type in some questions you had for Fred. And we had many people put in some questions, so really appreciate that. But first, let's just talk to Fred and have him introduce himself, where you're from, and tell us about your career so far.
Yeah. Hey, thank you guys. Thank you guys for having me on. This is awesome. Cam, me and you go way back, so this is special for me. So I'm Fred Hein. I'm from just outside of Boston, Massachusetts, in a small town, North Reading. I'm 32 years old, and I've actually have never made an announcement. So this will be, I guess you guys are hearing it first, but I recently retired from professional hockey. Wow, and thank you. And now I'm coaching. I'm in the coaching and business side of the game, and I couldn't be happier.
That's awesome. That's so cool, especially for somebody that's, I've been in the hockey world a long time through my family. And is it so from going from playing to now you're in the coaching and business side? How have things changed for you?
It's different. My schedule is a lot different. So like when I was playing professional, it was, wake up 8 a.m., at the rink, and then practice from, 10 to 11:30, quick workout, whatever. And then that's pretty much it for the day. That's your job. So the rest of the day is up to you and what you make of it. So, pretty easy, somewhat easy work day. And now it's, between, I coach 4 youth teams, and then I have a small business on the side where I'm running hockey skills and conditioning. And so I'm working anywhere from 55 to 60 hours a week. So it's a lot, but I love it. And it's really cool for me because when I was growing up playing, I had nobody really, taught me how to play hockey. My dad helped me, of course, in the driveway. But other than that, I never really had a coach at the youth level to teach me how to, stick handle, shoot, skate, and do things the right way. So for me to be able to sort of give back and teach kids at a young age, 10, 11, 12, 13 years old, how to stick handle, how to shoot, how to skate, and do things the right way. And create a foundation for themselves is special for me. And it's really motivating because once you learn how to do things the right way, it's like riding a bike. Once you learn, you never forget, and sky's the limit with how far you want to take, your career. I didn't start, I could always play and I was always good, but it took me some years to, like, as I was older, I was also learning, because again, I didn't learn at a young age. Of course, I learned, but not necessarily how to do things the right way. So I was playing catch up a little bit as I was going on in my career.
That's really awesome, especially for you to kind of talking about the giving back piece. It's something, you've been involved with hockey throughout your whole life as a player, but now you get to continue it and make an impact on other players' lives. That's extremely cool. And it must be just something probably really, to stay in.
It is, Kim. And, somebody made a comment to me the other day. They asked to hang out and I couldn't. And I just said, I'm busy. And, and it's like, they made a comment saying like, your job was to play hockey, and now, you're retired, but your job is hockey also. So I'm very fortunate and lucky and to, be able to stay around the game. And this is I knew that this is what I wanted to do, years ago. I knew that when I retired, I wanted to get into coaching. I didn't know what level and I didn't know how or what, but I knew that I wanted to be a coach. So I'm very thankful that I'm doing it now and it's going great and have some really good players. And it's been a busy, but really good season so far. It's a lot of fun.
Well, congrats on a great career. Obviously,
you.
I've watched you for quite a while now.
Yeah.
I've known you for probably it's been 12 years. That's incredible.
I can't believe that. I saw, I think it was on Facebook, your 21st birthday post. And I was like, I think I texted your dad and I was like, that makes me feel like very, very old because I remember you, helping out when I was at Bridgeton, just as like a young kid. So to see that, I was like, oh, feel old here.
Yeah, for sure. And speaking about Bridgeton, one of the questions from the subscribers was, what's the best route, going to boarding school, or do you think going to juniors?
Oh, it's a great question. I think it depends on, what you're looking for. The boarding school, like Bridgeton specifically, that was the best fit for me because I needed it for academics, but I also needed it for hockey. Being honest, I didn't have the best grades in high school. It is what it is, but so I needed that extra work in order to get my GPA up and my SATs up, in order to play college. So I needed it for academics, but then I also needed that year to develop and train and get bigger, stronger, faster so that I could play at the next level. So that was the best situation for me. Everybody's different though. If you have the good grades, then maybe save the money and go the junior route. Just make sure if you do go to the junior route, make sure you're setting yourself up and make sure you're in a good situation. And yeah, that's all I can say. So it just depends on, what you're really looking for. But Bridgeton was, I tell people all the time, and Bridgeton to this day was the best thing I ever did in my career because I needed it. I needed it to grow up and mature, not only as a person, but as a hockey player. And then, I needed it for the school and the grades part. So it was best decision I ever made and very thankful. And yeah, it's great.
Yeah. Just knowing about Bridgeton, such a small school, but it's also a big world that you just probably know so many people have gone there. I know Dawson's brother's there right now.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome.
So it's really cool. Just like how everybody can be connected by such a small place in some way for alums.
Yeah. Really small world. I was, always skating and training in the summer and, random pickup skates and you see the black helmet with the Wolverine logo on the side. And I'm like, what year did you go to Bridgeton? And they, you just instantly have something in common. And it was the best decision I ever made. And I recommend Bridgeton to anybody. It was such a good school and they take such good care of you and they do things the right way up there. And special place for me, for sure.
Absolutely. Kind of to build off that point, take us down your journey. What happened next? Somebody asked, how did you turn pro? So after Bridgeton, take us down the timeline.
Yeah. So at the time when I was at Bridgeton, my ultimate goal was, I guess, to play college hockey. And when the end of the year came, I had a meeting with the coach and he said, it's something that I can do, but I still needed another year. So I took a year and I played junior hockey for the Laconia Leafs in the Atlantic Junior Hockey League, which isn't a team anymore and it's not a league anymore. So that also makes me feel pretty old here. But so I took a year of juniors and I did really well. And with how everything went, I wanted to do another year. So I ended up playing 2 years of juniors, which was, again, the best thing for me because that first year I talked to a couple schools, colleges, and they were like, we're interested, but they all recommended that I play another year because that model is they want 21-year-old freshmen coming in. So your full potential when you come in as a freshman. And that's something that I recommend to anybody. If you have the opportunity to play juniors and you can essentially age out, I think there's no rush to go to college right away, unless you're if your ability hockey wise is there, then, you obviously go, but taking those years to develop and get better as a player was awesome. And I think on the other side of it too, I had my own apartment. So it was my first time living alone. And I think that was, pretty eye-opening for myself. Like I had to learn how to cook for myself. And it was like my first time, doing laundry. And so you really, you grow up and you learn. And again, that was an awesome step that I made in my career, and very thankful for that. And that second year I played, I talked to a bunch of Division III schools.
Wow.
And from there, I made a decision. I went to the University of New England, which was awesome. I made so many friends there, and I had a really good time. But my junior year, things didn't really work out. So I made a decision, and I transferred to Becker College, which was, they were same Division III schools, but they were in different leagues. One was the ECAC East, and the other was ECAC Northeast. And it was cool because the University of New England was it was in Biddeford, Maine, so somewhat up near Bridgeton. Right. And it was, I don't want to say the middle of nowhere, but there wasn't much going on. It was everything was just right there on campus, right? And then so I had my time there. But then when I transferred to Becker, it was in Worcester, Mass. So it was like right in the middle of the city, next to Worcester State, Holy Cross, and all kinds of other schools. So it was more of a city environment. So I kind of got, in my college career, I got the best of both worlds, and I enjoyed it. And from there, I knew like the idea of like playing professionally was didn't really cross my mind. I growing up and everything, I never dreamed of playing in the NHL. I just wanted to play hockey. That was like my dream, was just to play hockey. So I always thought about like, what can I do next to play at the next level? And I never really thought about it until my senior year, and was like, oh, like, if I do well, like maybe my coach can help me. And he didn't actually. And I remember having a meeting beginning of my senior year with the coach. And, I said, hey, like, I'd love to play like professionally after school. Like, do you have connections? Can you help me? This and that. And he was like, yeah, I just, kind of just brushed it off. And I was like, all right, didn't really think about it. And then nothing really happened. I remember, I'll never forget this. It was the last game of my college career against Curry, at Curry. And something just didn't feel right. I didn't play that much that game. And then he came in to the locker room, and because I was a senior, he gave me the puck, and he's like, oh, congratulations on your career or whatever. And I just remember, like, this can't be it. Like, I've worked so hard. I've done so much. Like, I was like, this can't be it. Right. Like, I can't, I refuse to believe that. And I'll never forget that moment. And so that summer came, and, wasn't really sure with what I was going to do. And just kind of, honestly, I didn't like play hockey for, once school ended, I honestly didn't play hockey for like a couple months, because I just didn't know what I was really doing with my life. I wasn't sure. And then a guy by the name of Kevin Ray, and I owe him my life, messaged me. I think it was so late at night. It was like 11 p.m. And I got a Facebook message, hey man, and give me a call when you get a chance. So I talked to him the next day, and he was telling me about this like European tour that this guy, Neil Liston, and I'll get back to him in a second. He puts together this tour of the North American players, and you go over to Finland and Sweden, and you play some exhibition games against all these professional teams that are in the middle of their training camp and just looking to play games and go from there. And if they're looking for a player, they can sign you or whatnot like that. So I remember like telling my parents, and they were like, what the hell is that? But they were so supportive. And I remember going over to Finland, and nothing worked out there. I was in Finland for like 10 days, and then went over to Sweden, and nothing really happened at the end of the tour. And I like refused to believe it. And then I did well when I was on the tour, and the guy running it, Neil, was like, you're staying here. Like, we're going to find you, we're going to find you something. And he did. And I went to a team, and that was that.
That's such a cool story. And
yeah,
just for you to kind of know, like, hey, even at the end of college, you're like, hey, this can't be it. And to, find that connection, it's incredible.
I loved it. I mean, I still do. I love it so much. And, you when you love something like that, you refuse to give up,
Absolutely. It's a great, it's a really cool story. Actually, I didn't know all the details of that. So just for you to go into detail right there, that was awesome, which kind of leads to my next question from a follower. Are there any differences in the competitive environment between the United States and Sweden?
Yes. Big difference. And this is nothing against Sweden. It's competitive over there, but how the scheduling is in North America, it's really not even close. You're going on road trips, and you're going to Chicago or New York, or, you're playing teams Friday, Saturday, Sunday, like back to back to back. So, and then because in North America there is fighting, like you're playing the same team, you play like 55, 60 game schedule, and you're playing the same organization, anywhere from 10 to 15 times. So
wow,
you play teams enough, and then those back-to-backs, like come Saturday, Sunday, packed building, like there's some rivalries, and it's much more competitive over here. And that's nothing against Sweden. It's just based off the schedule, where the schedule there was like, Tuesday game, Saturday game, and there was a little bit more of a break, and it was spread out. You weren't playing the same teams as many times.
Right. That's really cool to know, especially just how the scheduling is a little is different.
Yeah. That's a good question though. It's a different game over there. They play on an Olympic sheet, which going over there, I didn't know how I was gonna like, but I loved it actually. I really enjoyed it. It's so different. There's like less hitting, so it's more of a skill game, which that's what I liked.
Right.
I like the skill side of the game, so I really enjoyed that. And so much, like the rink was so big, I ended up changing the flex on my stick. I used to use in college, I used 110, and then that summer going in, I used 105. But because the rink is so big, I kept going down in my flex, because you needed that extra, slingshot effect to your shot, because you cross the blue line and you almost need binoculars to find the net. Like, you're so far away. So you needed that extra, quickness on your release with the stick. So, and I switched, and I never went back. So, thanks to the Olympic sheets in Sweden, I changed my stick for the rest of my life. Really,
that's really interesting. Which also leads to my next one. What's your favorite hockey stick brand? And then we talked about your flex, but what color tape do you use?
Who asked that?
I have no idea. I'd have to go look to see who asked this. Let's see if I can find it.
That's funny. I want to know after who asked that, because I'm definitely. You see it?
Yeah, let me look right now. Let's see. Yeah. Oh, I think you might know them because you follow them. Patrick Zelak.
Oh yeah, Zilly. Zilly's a great kid. I played with him in Danville, just outside of Chicago, for a couple of seasons. One of the best teammates. I've ever played with, and I played with a bunch of guys. Always puts everybody else before himself, and first class. Zilly's one of the best. Funny you said that too. I don't know. I don't want to call myself a gear nerd, but I do enjoy all the equipment, and I'm always changing stuff. I'm always going back and forth. And I do my favorite stick, I would say Bauer 2N, Bauer Nexus 2N, for sure. And then I always went through juniors and college, I always went black tape. And my first couple of years of pro, I always used black tape. But then I don't really know what happened because I started to switch to white. And then it was just kind of a superstition thing where like if I would change so much just to keep it fresh in my own head, where like if I went out for the first period and I used black tape and I didn't play a good period, I would use white tape for the second. And if I played good, I would stick with white. Or like vice versa, right? Like sometimes I would go out in warm-ups with white tape. And if I didn't have a good warm-up, I would start the game with black tape. So towards the end of my career, I was always just switching up my tape. And I think that helped me a lot too. And a lot of people think that that's weird. I played with guys all the time that, kept the same tape job over and over and over again.
Right.
Where it helped me in different ways. So yeah, I would say Bauer, but I recently got some custom sticks made through True.
Ooh, nice.
And I absolutely love them. They're great so far. So I'm happy with that, but I do enjoy trying all the gear and sticks and everything like that.
Yeah, I know some people some people aren't very superstitious, and then other guys need to have something a certain way or.
So I think that's part of it. Like in juniors, I was very superstitious. In college, I was superstitious. And then I don't know if this makes sense, but like I had so many superstitions that like it was just so hard to keep up with. And
right.
with the schedule and like the travel and everything, like, there were so many times, in my pro career where like, games at 7 p.m. and you're supposed to be there at 5, but there's a snowstorm. So the bus is a little bit behind. So instead of getting there at 5 and you have all this time to warm up and do your routine and everything, you're getting there at like maybe 6:30 and you have no choice but to just put your gear on and go because, there's fans waiting and there's the refs are waiting. The other team is waiting. So there's so many things that can happen. And so I learned to just deal with it. And so guess just trying not to have any superstitions was part of it. So
yeah, after figuring out that kind of like, okay, things aren't always going to line up the way you want them to, and take some mental work and kind of
you can say that like the mental side of it helped me a lot.
For sure. And then kind of the last question from the same guy, another kind of funny question, bucket or no bucket in warmies? I love the wording too.
No bucket. That was like in like my bucket list in my hockey career. That was like on it for sure. And that was up there. I think that was when we got the green light. That was like the bucket was coming off. Me and my buddy Seth, we had so much fun with it. We would go to the barber and we would get fades and get our beards done. And,
nice.
We had so much fun with it. It was such a good time. And we enjoyed it. You get the bubble gum going and the no bucket warm up was the best part. I'll never forget that. And I had so much fun being able to do that.
That's excellent. So I think that's all the questions I have from the followers.
Cool.
I don't know if Dawson had a few to drop.
Yeah. So at least one of the questions I had was, you talk about your career just ending at least as a player, and transitioning to a coach. Have you ever thought of potentially being like an official or a referee at the hockey level?
Honestly, no, not at all. And a lot of people that ask me that, no, I don't really have any desire to do that side of the game. I just never really wanted to get into that. But there's actually a referee shortage where I live in Massachusetts, and a couple of my U14 games, or U14? No, I have U16 games. No ref showed up. So I had my skates in my car. So I actually had to ref some of the games. And and I to be honest with you, I didn't really like it. And it's weird because you're watching and you're like watching the play develop, and then everybody's yelling at you like, it's offside, it's offside. You're like, oh yeah, whoops. Okay.
Right.
And you're like,
that's right.
It's you're you're watching the game develop and you're watching a different side of it. So no, I wouldn't really get into the reffing part.
Yeah, it's if you like it, you do. If you don't, I know two of my buddies, shout out Ben and Owen. They're hockey refs. I just don't know how they do it because you take a lot of criticism and then
and I think that's part of why there's such a shortage is, they're sick of getting yelled at by coaches and parents. And I know, especially with the youth organization, like it's intense. It's, they're putting up with a lot and people just don't want to do it. And then they took a big hit with COVID and
Right. No, absolutely. And then just another question I had, you talk about coaching now, going into like your first sort of year of coaching or whatnot. Do you have any sort of coaching philosophy, like you're building your team around or a team motto?
No, not so much like that. I focus a lot on like the skill development side of the game is more, instead of going out there and just doing flow drills, it's tough because, if you can't make a pass, you can't stick handle, you can't skate the right way, how are we going to do, a flow drill, right? So I focus a lot on skill development. So the first half of the season, like it's a lot of stick handling, skating with the puck, fake moves, learning like proper foundation, things the right way, and eventually getting to that, flow drills and stuff like that. But no, more skill development and skill oriented practices and stuff like that. And then as far as philosophy in the games, I want the kids to play and have fun and enjoy it. Do a couple things, defensive zone system, but other than that, like, offensive zone, go have fun. Neutral zone, pretty simple. Like, not figure it out on your own, but like they have to learn on their own as well.
Right.
I don't want to complicate things with systems. I remember I had some coaches, we had 15 offensive zone face-off plays and, 4 neutral zone face-off plays, 10 defensive zone face-off plays, stop, it's, I don't know. I didn't really like that much because you're thinking about too much and the game is pretty simple, couple in each zone and kind of go from there. So I try to coach, ways like how I would, if I was a player, like what I would want my coach to be like.
I think talking about simplifying the game, I think one of the key things you mentioned is, I think back for youth sports, for youth, it's hard for, you don't want to overcomplicate things. You can only comprehend so much. So definitely simplifying the game, learning the skills. Yeah, that's really important in any sport, especially if you can master those skills.
For sure. Learning how to do things the right way is so important.
Absolutely.
So important.
I think that's all I have for questions.
Cool.
Unless Dawson has anything else to say.
No, it was great having you on here. Good luck with your coaching career. And
thank you.
You've been a big inspiration to Cam and from all the stuff he's told me. So, glad to hear, you've had a successful player career going into your coaching career now.
Thank you guys. Yeah. Sorry. Thank you for having me on. This is great. Love what you guys are doing. And let's do this again.
Sure.
Anytime. Actually, I get a question for you guys.
Yeah, sure.
How did you get the clips that you post on the Instagram? Because some of those photos I never even saw before.
Oh, really?
Where did you find them?
I found those. I went on YouTube, and you have a highlight tape on YouTube.
Oh, okay. I
saw a couple of those, and then on Google I found some pictures from UNE. I found one from Bridgeton. That was a good one. I
had completely bald and no facial hair.
Yeah,
so funny.
Forgot about that. No, I saw that one from I saw that on Bridgeton online. Saw the one from UNE. Saw a couple others, and then cool. Saw some highlights on YouTube, which was pretty cool. Somebody made a nice montage.
That's cool. And it's cool that you pull those. I was swiping. I saw them. And I was like, how do you get these? I'm like, I haven't even seen these. So,
that's funny.
That's pretty cool. How's your dad doing? He's He's the head coach now up at Bridgeton. Yeah.
Yeah, he is. He's doing really well. He's done from what I know, he's done a really good job with recruiting this year, and he's definitely likes the job, and he's happy to be back in the hockey community for sure.
So happy for him, and there's not a better person to have that job. I can tell you right now is, so, like, you know, he helped me so much in my career. He's like, you know, I've been playing, you know, I played juniors. I played, you know, never made it to the NHL, but I played at pretty much every level. And, you know, can count on one hand how many coaches, you know, that believed in me. And one of those is your dad. And he's helped me so much in my hockey career, but more in my life. And that's
important.
Special place for him, and everything that he's done for me. I'm forever thankful. Because he believed in me, and he knew, like, hockey wise, school wise, and as a person, he always believed in me, and never forget that. And very special for me.
It's really awesome to hear, and just really happy he's back in the community and he's happy.
Awesome.
And it's important to keep you know, coaches like that around for sure.
Cool.
Awesome. Cool. Well, thanks for Fred for coming on, and congrats on a fantastic career as a player, and can't wait to stay on, keep in touch about your coaching career and everything in general. It's really awesome, and can't wait to release this video.
Awesome to catch up, man. Thank you. Let's do this again. I appreciate it, guys. Thank you so much.
Absolutely.